All right, welcome to The Explainer. Hey, if you're a Java developer, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to break down the essential updates in Java 6, and we're going to focus on the core changes that you really need to know about, the ones that'll impact your code, your app's performance, and your whole workflow. So, let's get into it.
Wow. Okay, that's a bold headline, right? But it hits on something really important. Technology does not stand still. And Java isn't just evolving on the inside, it's actively adapting to rewire how our applications talk to the rest of the world.
Okay, let's be real. With a new Java release dropping every 6 months, it's a lot to keep up with. It's so easy to get buried in JEPs and release notes. So this guide is all about cutting through that noise. We're going to focus on the practical, hands-on upgrades that will actually make a difference in your work right from day one.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the stuff that'll clean up your code every single day. Then we'll move into the big picture, boosting performance, modernizing your networking, beefing up security, and finally, we'll look at the growing ecosystem that surrounds Java itself.
First up, let's dive into two new preview features. And these are designed to solve some of those annoying, everyday headaches that we all run into as developers.
Yeah, we have all been there, haven't we? Trying to juggle a bunch of tasks running on different threads, it can seriously feel like herding cats. It's just so complex, super error-prone, and one little mistake can cause a thread leak that is an absolute nightmare to track down.
So this is where structured concurrency comes in, now in its 6th preview, by the way. Think of it like a super smart supervisor for your threads. It makes sure that if one task fails, or you just need to cancel the whole operation, the entire group of related tasks is handled as one single, neat unit. No thread gets left behind.
And this just lays it out perfectly, right? We are moving away from this chaotic mess of individual threads that you have to manually wrestle with and towards a single, manageable unit of work. It's all about making your multi-threaded code way more reliable, easier to read, and easier to debug.
Okay, next up, we've got lazy constants. And this one is really fascinating, especially if you're working in AI, machine learning, or any app that deals with huge amounts of data. Where you might have these really expensive resources or models that you just don't want to load until you absolutely have to.
So what's the bottom line here? You get the flexibility to put off those expensive initializations, but, and this is the key part, without sacrificing the performance benefits of a final field. The JVM can still do all of its magic optimizations, and that means faster startup times and your services using resources much more efficiently.
So, building on that idea of efficiency, let's jump into our second section. We're moving from just cleaner code to upgrades that make your entire application run faster and better. We're talking pure performance gains.
Now this is really cool. Check out the improvement to the G1 garbage collector. JEP 522 basically reduces the time your application's threads and the GC's threads have to wait on each other. To put it simply, your application spends way less time paused and a lot more time doing actual productive work.
And here's another huge performance win from JEP 516. This boosts startup by pre-initializing and caching critical objects ahead of time. But the really big news in Java 26 is that this cache now works with any garbage collector, including the super low latency ZGC. That is a massive step forward for getting your apps ready to serve traffic faster.
Okay, remember that wild TCP is dead headline from the beginning? Well, this is where we get to see exactly why it's so relevant. The fundamental way our apps talk to each other over the internet is changing, and Java is changing right along with it.
So, Java 26 now has HTTP/3 support baked right into its standard HTTP client API. What that means for you is that with just minimal changes to your code, your applications can start using this modern web protocol that's built on QUIC instead of TCP.
And this table just lays out the advantages so clearly. With HTTP 3, you get much faster connection setups, but the real game changer is the elimination of head-of-line blocking. That means one slow request won't hold up every other request on that same connection anymore, which is a massive, massive win for microservices and APIs.
A great upgrade isn't just about adding shiny new features. It's also about making the platform more secure, more reliable, basically cleaning up the house to make it easier to maintain for years to come.
So Java 26 does some really important housekeeping. First, JEP 500 starts enforcing the idea that final should actually mean final, which helps stop dangerous changes using reflection. We also get a much simpler API for handling standard PEM-encoded keys and certificates. And finally, the ancient applet API is officially gone for good.
But here's the thing. Java isn't just the JDK anymore, right? It's this massive ecosystem of tools and libraries that we all rely on every day. And that ecosystem is about to get a huge formalized boost.
So, Oracle is launching something called the Java Verified Portfolio, or JVP. And the best way to think about this is like a trusted, enterprise-grade seal of approval. It's a curated set of essential Java components that are fully supported, which is designed to make life easier and seriously reduce your software supply chain risk.
So what's in the box? Well, you've got some heavy hitters here. Commercial support for JavaFX is back, which is huge for anyone building rich user interfaces. You've also got Helidon, a modern framework for cloud-native microservices, and Oracle's own Java extension for VS Code, all now with enterprise-grade support.
All right, let's wrap this all up. What do you get when you upgrade to Java 26? Well, your code gets simpler and way more reliable. Your applications are going to run faster with better throughput. Your network stack is now future-proofed, and your entire development process gets stronger thanks to this new verified ecosystem. And that leaves us with one final thought to take away. With all these powerful new tools for concurrency, for performance, for networking, what part of your own development process, what old coding habit, is now ready for its own upgrade?